I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 4:33. You start the recording. Bingo, that's awesome. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's had a fantastic spring break. Some time to recharge, hang out, do something crazy, not illegal, but crazy. Just have a good time. Now we can move on and have VP Shockey do the roll call for us.
President Green,
Here.
VP LaBelle, I believe is here.
She is.
Okay. VP Linder.
Here.
Advisor Rome.
Present.
Senator Jermaine, excuse me.
He'll be on at some point here, so
Okay.
yeah.
Senator Lynn,
Here.
Senator Willis,
Present.
Senator Zebo,
Present.
and Senator Jang.
And we don't know yet about that.
Concludes.
Cool. All right, thank you very much, VP Shockey. Moving on, Senator Zebel sent out the minutes via email earlier. It looks like we do have a hand up right now. Senator Willis, you have a question?
Nope, I was just gonna move to approve the minutes.
Oh, you're like super on top of that. I love that. Okay, well, then there's a motion to approve. So, is there? I'm just gonna say, is there a second right now? I saw VP Shockey's hand up. Is that a second?
Yes.
All right. All those in favor, voting members, please use the hand raising feature now and keep your hands up so I can get a good look at them. And that looks like majority right there. So that has been approved. You can put your hands down. Thank you very much. Moving on down to reading and approval of the meeting agenda for tonight. Same thing. Senator Willis.
I move to approve the agenda.
All right. So a motion's been made to approve tonight's agenda. Senator Zebel, is that a second?
Yes, sir.
All right. All those in favor, voting members, please use the hand raising feature now and keep your hands up. And again, that is majority. So the agenda's been approved. You can put your hands down. Thank you. We're going to move on down to public comments now. Mark Thomas is joining us. And it looks like you've got 20 minutes on the clock.
All right.
So you're good to go.
I'll probably take 10 of those, and then if folks have questions. I just had a few updates, stuff that's going on at the college I thought you might be interested in. You may know that the college is going through a chief diversity officer search right now, who will be a peer to me on cabinet level. Lucia Nunez used to have that role. If you're familiar with her, it's that same role. So a question or just an update?
There we go. We're good.
If that was a question, though, let me know. We had over 40 applicants, and that was narrowed down to 2 finalists who visited us earlier this week. If you are interested and you didn't have a chance to attend their forums, they had public forums here on campus. Those are recorded. They're available online, and then there's a mechanism for input and comment. If you want to provide that, Dr. Daniels is reviewing all comments that he gets from students, employees, etc. So you have an opportunity to do that if you like. We hope that we're moving forward with one of those candidates and that they could start by the end of this academic year and transition over the summer and be in place for the start of next academic year, 2022-2023. They are Dr. Demira Grandi and Dr. Rick Daniels, no relation to President Daniels. Achieving the Dream, this effort that the college has joined, is a nationwide network of community colleges that are interested in equity and student success. I might have mentioned this to you in the fall, but the college has joined that network, and we have a team that's working on what does that mean and what's the action plan there. You, as students, would have recently received a survey asking for student opinions that is being considered in the college drafting its action plan for achieving the dream. We had a goal, typically in a student survey like this, we have a goal of about 400 responses. It just went out Tuesday. We've got over 260 already, so thank you very much. If you push that for your peers to respond, that'd be great. That information is really important for us, what students' feedback is as we try to figure out student equity and success. That's a really critical piece, so we're really interested in what that feedback is. We will have an action plan in place after this first year. We call it a year of discovery. There's a 3-year initial process for achieving the dream. We are going to be ending this first year at the end of this term, and we'll have an action plan in July that we'll bring to our July board meeting, and that will lay out what we'll do for the next 2 years of the Achieving the Dream initiative. It goes on beyond that, like the point is to continue these efforts forever, but there's sort of an initial 3-year package of things that you do as a new Achieving the Dream network member. This is really cool. I'm taking to the April board meeting an increase in the student employment rate, getting it up to, students can earn up to $15 an hour. The normal hourly rate's around 14, but then there's an additional dollar differential for later shifts. We've worked over the last several years to bump it up. It was under $10 a couple years ago, and each year we try to incrementally bring that up a little bit. We do employ hundreds and hundreds of students. It's wonderful. It's really helpful in all the areas where students are employed. And then we figured, we also need to pay a living wage to our own students if we're going to complain about living wages as a public policy problem. So we finally have gotten there, and we'll continue to do that. Every year we review the student employment rate, and we bump it up every year a little bit. And so we thought that was fair, and I'm excited to share that. And then the last 2 things are both tied to fitness center and athletics. We have an athletics department at college. Really exciting. Our grand opening of the new fitness center will be Monday, April 4th. Students, you may know, pay a fee towards that. It ends up being, for a full-time student, about $60. I think it's $59 a year. Employees pay the same thing. We felt that was fair, even though there is a health and wellness push for employees, and people said, make it free. We said, well, we can't charge the students and not charge the employees. So everyone will have an opportunity, but $60 for the year for what is truly a state-of-the-art fitness center. It is purpose-built. Anyone who has any history at the college with the prior fitness center, you know what it was, and it actually used to be 2 racquetball courts, if you have that much history at the college. So this is like a real tried and true, modern, cutting edge, state-of-the-art, actual bona fide fitness center. Great locker rooms, gender neutral locker rooms, men's and women's locker rooms. And it's really smoothly tied into new spaces for the athletics department staff, and tied in smoothly to the athletics team's lockers, and then the gym. So all of all the athletic stuff is really smoothly tied together now. It's actually designed together, as opposed to before it was a sort of hodgepodge pieced together, take a racquetball room and a broom closet and call it a whatever. Now the whole space has been cleared out. And it's really nice. So please get over there and check that out. It's really cool. The other thing tied to athletics, and if you read your student paper, you would know that the college is moving our athletics teams all to NJCAA Division II. We've got 6 teams. 2 of them, softball and baseball, have historically been in Division II. The others, golf, volleyball, there's 8 total, sorry. Men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, will all now also be moving to Division II. What's important about that is in Division III, student athletes cannot receive scholarships. In Division II, student athletes can receive scholarships. We have to find the money to fund the scholarships, but step 1 was getting into Division II. And the article, actually, I will praise this article. This is an excellent article. It's factual and truthful about inequities in athletics and student outcomes in terms of grades and who has access to scholarships. Men's and women's softball, being very frank, are very white, and many of the other teams are not white, and the scholarships historically have gone to softball and baseball. So there's an inequity there in who has access to scholarships. There's no intent behind that, that's the way it's been, but now we want to erase that gap and put everybody on an even playing field. And we also know that getting students scholarships gets them more engaged, and then they're more successful academically as well. So that's a huge push in that direction. It'll change the competition. Some of our teams will face much stiffer competition in Division II than they have in Division III. But that's also good, right? Like competition is good, and we will attract other students that way. So that's pretty exciting to me too. And that's all I've got for an update. I don't know if folks have any questions about any of that or anything else that I can try and help answer not related to any of that.
Well, I'm gonna ask, yeah, does anyone have any questions right now?
There's excitement in the chat.
The excitement in the chat. Awesome.
Sarah Seabell, your hands up?
Yeah, so you talked about raising the student employment rate to $15 and then talked
Yeah.
about that $1 thing for nightly. Is that going to be 15 starting and then 16 with a nightly thing, or is that just going to be 15 across the whole board?
No, it starts at 14 and then goes up to 15 for the dollar differential. And it's not exactly 15. I think it's 15 like something, or it might be exactly 15, but 15 is the top that you could get to. So we're still looking at bringing that bottom rate up. The issue is as we pay the student rate higher, now we're bumping up against some of the lower staff rates. So we're trying not to end up having the student rate be higher than the lower staff rates. So this year, we're looking at the staff salary ranges. And as those continue to progress, then the student rate can come right behind it and continue to progress too.
Okay, that makes sense. I
That
mean,
makes sense?
we have students running the school instead of professors.
I'm gonna actually kind of trail on that question, because, yeah, there's been a huge jump, at from that 1050 to like where we're at now, and it's been fantastic. At the time last time when there was a change, around last summer or something like that, there was that you had to be employed for a year to get that, from 1250 to 1350.
Yeah.
Do you have anything addressing that?
So there's still a scale that because otherwise all students would make the same thing. So we feel like there should be some differential for returning students, that there is a progression in the rate. So the starting rate, that's a good question. The starting rate isn't that 14. I should clarify that. So the starting rate, I don't know what it is. It is 12 or 13, and then there is the returning rate, and then there is the differential rate, right? Because we felt like we still have to have a range in there, because all, again, seniority or experience or returning student, whatever, however you want to characterize that difference. We felt like there still needs to be some difference even within that student rate. Thank you, Sean, I should have said that.
And lastly to that point, what I don't really remember and recall, maybe you do, what the differential, where, like, from my memory of the presentation, again, last summer was, within, regular hours, and then obviously there's that differential, you're doing, things where you could be doing your homework, whatever, and instead you're gonna be, working. That's hence the differential. What was the time when it?
I think it's a 6 o'clock shift. It's 5 or 6 o'clock.
Okay.
I should know those answers. I think it's 6 o'clock though. So it's like evening hours.
Yeah.
And typically then, most people are familiar with the operations of the college. That's either like student help in an office that has later hours,
Yeah.
or it's custodial or landscape work that ends up being, we don't have a lot of second shift work at the college because we're not a residential campus. So there's not like food into the evening. Bookstore's not open until 9 o'clock. Public safety is another one that has evening hours, but typically it's like if an office is open a little bit later, a student support office, something like that, that has hours till 7 or 8 p.m., or a custodial or public safety services. Those are the typical ones that would get that hourly differential for evening work. And I think it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I forgot, like, right at the beginning of that time, I was like, I never asked the question.
And I almost brought my laptop, which I would have the letter to tell you exactly what it is, and shame on me, I didn't, so I apologize for that.
I'm just gonna say, I see Senator Willis's hand up right now, so Senator Willis?
I was just going to confirm it is 6 o'clock, because I
Okay,
actually
thank
went
you,
to
Commissioner.
accounting an open business lab, and we get it for working on Sunday and for working the shift from 6 to 9 p.m. in the lab. And I think that also applies like to the library
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, let me see. Yes, sorry, I'm finding an email that clarifies those things, so, yes, Katrina is correct.
She usually.
She usually is, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, Sarah Zebel, I saw your hand go back up for a second, and,
Well, that was an accident.
okay. Do we have, any other additional questions for any of the things that were talked about? Sarah Willis?
I just want to say thank you so much for coming to Senate tonight and giving us such wonderful news. I know as a person who has previously used the athletic center and had a son who actually came up and played dodgeball as a sport, even when he wasn't a student. Yeah, that's a different story. But anyway, I am very excited and happy to hear that our athletes will be eligible for scholarships, because that makes a significant difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes to motivation, it goes to their success, and I just think it's phenomenal. And I look so forward to getting back into the workout center myself. So I'll stop making excuses for not being on campus and be back in the gym. So see everyone soon.
Me too.
Sarah Zebel.
Yeah, okay, this time I got a question. You mentioned about the cost rise for the fitness center. Is that I guess to clarify, is that more in student fees, or is that out of pocket fee?
So there's a student fee that I think is split and jointly pays for the GHC Health Clinic and the fitness center, is that right, the way it's structured? That's a long-standing fee, that's existed. This is not increasing it, it's just continuing to apply it going forward. That's what a full-time student would pay. It's like a certain dollar amount per credit, and it ends up being $59, I think, for a full-time student. So that's been an existing rate. Employees also have always historically paid. We just haven't had as many users, I think, is the difference. And so hopefully with the new facilities and not raising the rate, then that'll drive more folks to come. Make it more accessible.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
We still have a little bit of time left here.
Yeah.
Any other additional questions? And anyone can ask any question. I know we've got some guests on this call right now. If you have any questions, anyone, just raise your hand, or if you can't raise your hand because you might be a calling user, I'm saying it's perfectly okay to speak up and ask these questions. I'm gonna throw out a couple questions while we're.
Do it.
Didn't get to go to the diversity thing, but definitely want to check out the recording from both of them. I know that it said that there was a SharePoint page. I was at the SharePoint page. I see the surveys and everything. I only see meeting links to Teams. I don't see anything that shows like a recording after the fact. I know things used to go to Microsoft Stream. I'm just trying to figure out where that recording would be so that I could watch it. And I know that you might not have that question right away, but
I'll make sure that it's clear to students where they can view it. So I don't know if a message has gone out from Dr. Casper to you all, or if it's just a link in the Matters newsletter.
something
maybe,
did go off
like
from Dr. Casper today, but I don't, from what I read, it
that.
did not
Link
have
didn't work.
anything in there.
Okay, then I will follow up.
I haven't seen the link to the recordings,
Okay,
but I also.
I see the
did
Teams link.
Students get anything about it?
I think he said that
Cause you.
Tim sent it today, right?
I did see
Or we
something
may have
from
gotten
Tim
it
today,
today.
but from what I read, I think it actually talked about it had talked about the fitness center, I believe, actually, but it didn't,
No.
from what I recall from looking at this, it did not say anything about Actually, no, that was not that went out to, can't remember the thing for it.
SAIE,
SAIE, yep.
So
So
not
that
students.
is not, yeah, not them, student thing. So no, I guess that has, nothing has gone out yet.
Okay, I will talk to, AVP Hato, Tina Hato, ran the search, so I'll ask her and Dr. Casper, assuming there's a plan for communicating the availability of video forums
Yeah,
to students. Also, in checking the site, it didn't seem like they were active yet. Can
yeah.
you give me an update? And then I'll reply to you, Sean,
Okay.
and Ellie,
Yeah.
and let you guys know sort of what they say.
Yeah, and that survey, I mean, I had a survey come in, this is my second question to it, is I saw a survey come in on Monday about belonging or something
The
like that.
ATD, that is the
That-
Achieving the Dreams survey.
Okay,
Yep, that's
alright.
what's gonna inform the
So,
student,
yeah,
the student voice informed.
Awesome. So, everyone, let's make sure we do that.
and we can send something out through Senate too.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, that.
And I will CC you both on this email to Tina and Tim.
Cause they talked about Senate yesterday at the forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they may have, but didn't,
Yeah, I know Sarah's though, it is exciting. All right, any other questions? Okay, well, seems like there isn't, but this is I mean, all that stuff you, I'm just gonna say, Mark, all the stuff that you, presented to us, wow, it's really, it's crazy great news. I mean, just, it was in the IT council meeting this morning, and there was a talk about students first, and that motto for the college assembly that the college really ties into. This just is even more inspiring to hear these things and go, yeah, students are being thought about and included, and I just want to say thank you, and we thank you, and yeah, thank you for doing this, and being here. Actually, I think you're our first guest to come back to in
Tim.
person.
Tim
Oh,
came
Tim did
in
bring
person
it
last
back.
semester.
We're second's still great,
Yep.
so.
It's great.
But-
Someone loses at the Olympics, so I'm fine coming in second place. Dr. Casper.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, yeah.
I felt like I should have like one thing of bad news. I felt
No.
bad, like it's all like,
Oh, you keep the badness to yourself. You don't say that.
Long gone are the days about parking complaints, so
well, for now.
that used to happen every time.
For
we
now.
said it.
Yes, it did. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring that information to you. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna go, I have another engagement to get to this evening.
Not
But
a
I will
problem.
send an email and you'll see the response. Thank you, appreciate everybody, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right, so with that said, that's gonna conclude, A for public comments, B for public comments. The current student website project, Jody and Wendy are both back, to give an update. And it looks like it's 4:57 right now. You have 30 minutes on the clock. So the floor is yours.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm not quite sure we're going to have as exciting news and announcements, but hopefully moving forward with some nice enhancements for our user experience on the student website, we can find some goodness in that. Thanks again for inviting us back. We had some technical difficulties last time, so hopefully things go more smoothly. Again, I'm Jody, the web manager here. I work in the marketing department, and Wendy works with me. And she's my sidekick today, so she's going to help watch the chat. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. And I'm hoping that you are now seeing CSWP. Okay, yay. All right. So I will plan to not talk as long as I did last time. When we first met last month, I tried to give some background about the website and about some of the goals that we have for the website. This time I want to focus in on a couple areas of intended functionality and content on the site and get your feedback. Wendy is also going to share the feedback form. So I want to really walk through two items in more detail, the student toolbar and the Find Services and Resources content section. And then the form will ask questions on both of those, as well as some future items that we'll be picking up as a project team shortly, some content and functionality for new students, and the academic area of the site where we hope to include information specific to schools and programs, and in some cases, units and coursework. So there'll be some things on the feedback form. Okay, so I always like to start by sort of showing, the current state. So the current website and the toolbar on the current website exists on the homepage only. It's that bar of big blue buttons, if you will, below the rotating banner, starting with My Madison College at the left, moving down to Wolfpack Connect on the right. So this toolbar is only on the homepage. So I think the easiest way for students to use this, should you use this, is to use the Madison College logo at the top left in the masthead to get back to the homepage and utilize this toolbar. So fast forward to something I shared last time we met. And again, this is a very early design deliverable, a wireframe, where you can see that we were thinking of having the student toolbar in a prominent location on the homepage. Again, the thought here would be that you could get back to the homepage by clicking the logo, or we also had thought of having the toolbar accessible from other pages as well. The format for this was to feature some tools over others. They're indicated by, a larger tile. And for each tile, we were trying to fit the needs of students to quickly get to each of the tools, those who are familiar with them, but also new students who may not yet have downloaded a tool or may need some more information. So you can see that there's some help links for each of those as well. So as in all projects, you look at something, you discuss it more, and you tweak. You ask more questions, and you try to learn and improve and continue the optimization. So this is another wireframe. You can see that we've changed the styling. We've simplified in two different areas. Number one, we've moved from tiles to perhaps a less busy presentation of stylized links or a stylized list. We've also removed some of the differentiation or featured of, one tool over another. Other than the display order from top to bottom, we really don't have any visual differentiation. And we've also simplified and removed, any help or usage guides for each of the tools, and moved to a single button, see app guides or help. Those labels can come later, but the thought is that we would go to one place to receive help and more information on all of the tools. So there's been a simplification. The thought here is that's the home page, so it takes up a prominent place and some real estate on that page. there is the thought that the toolbar would be accessible by clicking this icon or tab, which could be located at the top left of all other interior pages. So that's one thought. In mobile, it would be a similar presentation where you click that little tile in the top left and it exposes the fuller toolbar. But I wanted to show you another example, something that we've been thinking about as well. Because the current presentation does take up so much real estate on the homepage, we started thinking, could we have some other location and format option and still get the same type of utility, which is really what we're after. So as I often do, I look to other sites, what else is out there, what else might be of use. And because we also have a utility navigation bar, which is what you're seeing here, which is a quick top bar that would be at the top of every website page. This is the Wisconsin wisc.edu site. And you can see that the MyUW is part of the utility nav bar, differentiated a little bit because it has the darker active color state. And it also has the little caret icon, which indicates that it is a drop-down menu, which of course it is. You click that and you see a quick list of links. It gets you to the MyUW home. Email, calendar, Canvas, which they use instead of Blackboard, etc. So a similar application of quick access to links to tools that you might use most often. So I am not seeing chat. I know Wendy's on that as well. I'd be very curious if you have some feedback for us on maybe what options are most appealing to you. Do you want quick and easy access on each and every page? Are you okay clicking the logo and going back to the home page? And what do you think about that usage of real estate on the home page? Any thoughts or chat?
Nothing in chat so far. Anybody
Okay.
want to come in?
And again, anyone who has any questions, you don't have to currently be on Senate. If you're a guest, please feel free to use the chat, raise your hand, or again, and if you can't raise your hand and to speak up and say something, we want everyone to feel included here and to be able to participate and give this feedback. So just saying that quickly again in case it wasn't clear.
Yeah, awesome. So this is a puzzle that we're trying to pull together, getting feedback from students and validation to help with our decision-making process is always a good thing. So things that we're trying to consider, what are the number of tools that you might want ready access to? How often would you do that? Is one click where you'd like to be, or this utility bar here would require one click to open and another click to access the tools, but that's the same number of clicks that you would use on this type of anywhere really but the home page, because you'd click to open the toolbar and then click on the tool of choice. So I feel either option really provides a similar amount of utility. For me, one of the things I'm really weighing in this decision is the amount of real estate taken on the homepage, and with the amount of content that we're trying to make accessible to students. Having more real estate in which to do that is appealing, I must say. Okay, So
have
the web, yeah.
comment, Jody. I think having the ability to get to the toolbar fast would be nice. However, I'm wondering about accessibility. Will this tab have issues being enlarged or auto read?
No, we would certainly make sure that it would be accessible from a visible standpoint, but also, yeah, we would be using, helper text and everything, so that I mean, it really is just a stylized list of links. So we would definitely take that into consideration. I think both options could be equally accessible.
Cool. And Sean Green asked, when you say homepage, are you saying students.madisoncollege.edu, not Madison College? And so I'd say yes.
Yes.
I have one vote for liking the stationary bar at the top, and I'm assuming that means under the logo. And then another person says they like the drop down.
You know, sometimes utility over design. I'll take that any day, especially if it overall allows us to make the homepage, more user friendly or a better experience. So we do know that you need more than just this toolbar. Hopefully you will take the few minutes to fill out the form as well, because there are some specific questions about the tools in the toolbar and the priority display order. We would love your specific feedback on that as well. So keep going with questions if you have them, but I will move on to the next. How do we access the form? Wendy, did you throw that in the chat yet?
Yep, the link is in chat. I'll repost it as well.
Thanks. I also did put a link to the form on, I think, slide 4 of this, and we'll make sure you have this PowerPoint before we leave you all. So you should be able to access it quite easily. So coming back to the homepage, and again, just wireframe, don't know if the find services and resources will remain in this location or, somewhere else, but it's just a way to give you a visual as I try to explain what I'm looking for. This section is really intended to allow you as students to quickly get to a service or resource that Madison College offers to help you with a particular, problem, challenge, thing, whatever that might be. So the idea here is that you would either go to the Find Services and Resources main landing page, or perhaps already, visualize through one of these parent categories and dive into that. If you know that your question is sort of on health, maybe you want to find a clinic or something, maybe the quickest way is you click to health and wellness, or you can go to the main page and search. So it's really meant to be an experience to allow you to get at the things that you want. So it will be a landing page. I do believe we are going to break this down a little bit differently and get to the utility part of the page a bit quicker. We want things to look nice and be aesthetically pleasing, yes, but we also want you to be able to quickly get to things. So the idea here is you would be able to use search or filters or a combination of both to get at a listing and click through to the information that's going to answer your question or get you to a person who can help you. So we have a list of filters here at the left. The category would be a parent and child, or a top level and then a child category. So an example might be health and wellness as a parent category, and then under that, mental health might be a secondary category. And so you could use that filter or it could be high level category finance or financial, and then a secondary category might be financial aid or veterans benefits or something like that. Some of the other filters that were recommended through our discovery phase, I'm coming back to, and I would like to get your feedback on them. I'm thinking on second thought, they may not be as useful as we had originally thought. One of them is type. Type was meant to have values like service, resource, facility. And while I think facility is quite understandable, it's a place typically. The words service or resource, I think, are somewhat ambiguous, and something could be called a service or a resource and really be the same. So it's not the word service or resource that gives it meaning. It's what is before, counseling resource, counseling service, just to give you an example. So as a filter, I'm not sure how meaningful that is to the experience. Would love any, thoughts or feedback on that. And that is in the form. Location, I think, is definitely appropriate. Here is where we would tag each and every service or resource listing to a campus location. It could be on all campuses. Maybe it's only found on the Truax campus, or maybe it is also available on the regional campuses. I think that might be useful information if someone is a student at Fort Atkinson, for example. They could solely use the location filter to see everything that's tagged at Fort Atkinson. So it kind of gives the user a way to drill down that's meaningful to them on a very, single or personal basis. The next filter, student type, I also feel has some utility and benefit. We're still working on what those values would be, but for example, the student type might be international, might be transfer, might be veterans or military. Just some examples that come to mind. So again, if I was an international student, I might use that filter solely, hit international student, and get a listing of all the things that have been tagged as appropriate for me. That might be a meaningful way of using this functionality. Then we get to the last filter that's displayed here in the wireframe, support type. So the idea here was to identify or tag each of the service and resource listings with the group of people that actually provide the support. Because we do offer services across campus that are, maybe provided by faculty, staff. There might be peer-related services, so they're provided by students. And in some cases, we have members of the general community come in to provide service. While I think each service or resource could be tagged appropriately, I'm wondering if you have any feedback on whether that would be a consideration for you in seeking a service or resource, or whether that's not meaningful, if you think that might be ambiguous. And of course, when tagging, we'd need to be very careful, because in some cases it could be multiples of these. So we would certainly need to display that. So any
Nice. Yeah, Jody, really excited about the location filter.
awesome. Yeah, I think that would be meaningful, especially when you think that some of the listings are, about, where's the dental hygiene clinic? Where's the, where's the salon? You know, I am less familiar with what's on the regional campuses, but I do know that they have things. So it would really be nice to know specifically what is there. Any other questions?
Let's see.
We have a whole, I'm seeing, so next month when I come, hopefully if I'm invited back, I'd love to show you where Student Senate has a home on the new website. We have a whole area for, right now we're calling it Get Involved. And we would love to get your input on that as well.
Well, and then other feedback, if I didn't know the whole website was for students, I might think the support type meant who the service supports.
True. The good news is that when we made that split back in August and split madisoncollege.edu off and created students.madisoncollege, this is the place for students. And we hope that this launch in October will be just the start of good things to come, that we can really hone in on a positive student experience just for you and not have to have, you know, some of the marketing and recruitment stuff that that we need to have on madisoncollege.edu.
Andrea wants to know, will there be a way for students in those student groups to have input on what is on their page?
I sure hope so. We're actually meeting with Student Life tomorrow to kick off some of this. Now, we do know that Student Life is only one contributor to the fuller section, again, that we're labeling Get Involved. But we wanted to start there because they have a lot of experience with various student groups and organizations. So we need to work through that. And I'd love an opportunity to kind of come back to you and tell you where our planning has taken us. We hope to reach out to each student group and get their contributions as we work through content. And then we will, of course, be populating the website over the summer and hope to start really reviewing content with people sort of in the August, September timeframe. So there's lots to come. We also hope to use a lot of student group ongoing help in maintaining the content on the site as well. So we have web authors who are trained and get access to manage website pages, and Wendy manages that process. And so we would love to have that level of contribution as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'd add on that, Wendy?
Nope, that sounds good. Sean made a comment. I just want to make sure we saw. I think there were more examples of what student support types would be. I think if there were more examples of what a student support type would be, besides that, I think support type would be the best option for a staff directory with all the ways to connect them.
Yeah, because I don't really know, again, that's where it comes down to this. I mean, if there were examples to kind of clarify, so at least for me, I could understand better what you would, an example of clicking on the students for the support type, what, even just, again, rough draft ideas of what results are we talking about would come back.
That's a really great. So let me try to give you a couple. So for community, we have community people come in and present as part of our entrepreneurship center. That would be an example there. From a student perspective, I know we have peer health. Are they advisors?
Educators.
Say that again?
Peer health educators.
Peer health educators. You know more about them than I do. I'm actually waiting on some information on that. So I think that was listed to me as an example of where students are providing the service. I think another one might be the salon, where students are providing the service as well. So I feel in some cases that might be interesting information to know. It will take time to build out that data set, obviously. But when we ask our stakeholders, across Madison College to help us build the database that will basically populate and manage the fuller services and resources section, they can help us determine what the support type would be. So I'm really just asking the question, do you think, now that you understand it, that might be a meaningful way to understand this data?
Well, yeah, for that support type thing, because my only thought in my mind, again, kind of relates back to, on Navigate, I'm listed as, I'm a student employee, but so like, would my thing I'm just saying who all would be part of that student thing, and again, you just gave some couple rough ideas of examples, and that really helped kind of narrow it down. I appreciate that. And again, things are obviously always going to kind of change or whatnot. But for me, when I'm trying to get in touch with somebody, I'm trying to get in touch with my success team, success coaches, my advisor, my disability resource services advisor, etc. Or if I'm trying to explore things, and the community thing is great. But if I want to know about Senate, or who's the Senate advisor, click on staff, faculty. I don't know which one it falls on. I think this thing is great. A good lookup tool. I usually just get a lot of questions about contact information. Hey, I need contact so and so. This instructor or this individual within the school.
Yep.
And I know that there is some public facing side of a directory somewhere. I know it exists. But obviously there's something's being a deterrent in somewhere, not on anyone's intentional side or whatnot, just something's causing those questions to come over, at least into where I'm at Student Success Center, and so it makes me kind of think about something like you typed in some information and it immediately filtered out and singled out that all the results of that comes back with and then hey, I need that's the person I'm looking for, and then contact information. But again, I know this is all rough stages, very rough stages, so or I should use the word preliminary, or so I know that you're asked. I'm hearing that you're asking a lot of questions and you're really thinking about all these things through, which I know I appreciate that. And so I know it's all tweaking, like you said, tweaking. So
yeah, absolutely. This is a big project, lots of decisions to be made, and so for some of these items, before we get too far down in our planning, we're really seeking opinions and feedback and really whatever we can get. Student Senate is one of a handful of groups that we're presenting to in a very similar fashion. So yeah, we just love any and all feedback. You can add some general feedback on the form as well. There's areas for that. So even if you have something not related to what we talked about today, would love to hear. And as we get closer to launch, there will be opportunities to do walkthroughs of the website and kind of learn what's in place so that you're ready to go when the site launches in October.
Yeah. So one last thing here, when do you want this form by? There's a deadline that you need this form by?
Great question. What do you think, Wendy?
Ooh, do you think Wednesday would work, or is that too late?
How does everyone feel? Can we all make sure we can submit your ideas, thoughts and stuff, and get this to them by Wednesday? I see VP Labella gave me a thumbs up.
That'd be great.
Looks like we could do Wednesday here.
Ellie, is that something that you could help us with, a reminder email, maybe next, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, something like that? Is that?
I can do that.
That's awesome. Great.
Besides that though, and I don't know if the presentation was technically done, but we did hit time.
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure, okay, cool. And yes, of course, both of you are welcome back. We love having you here, So, and it was great that everything was working technology-wise, and that, because not being able to navigate with technology does not make it an easy task. So I even appreciate the fact of how well you did having to deal with those barriers last.
Yeah. I was on my phone with no visual last time, so this was much improved. And if it works out, maybe we can be in person sometime too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we appreciate the opportunity to have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah. Again, always welcome to stay if you want, but yeah, I know the nightly news is on, so that's what I would be doing if I wasn't doing this right now. So eat some dinner, have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. We'll get that form by next Wednesday to you.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
See you on
you.
campus.
Bye. All right, so let's continue on down then. I'm gonna open back up the agenda. We've got public comments out of the way. That's fantastic. Reports of officers, advisors, and standing committees. Executive Council report and President's report. Executive Council is meeting at 10 a.m. on Fridays from the rest of here on out for the rest of this term. Besides that though, I've just nothing really new besides the fact that we've been tabling and pushing for elections. So that that's been the big priority. I think I want to thank. I know you had your internship, VP Shockey. I definitely want, and you had the finance committee meeting on Tuesday. But I want to thank VP Linder, VP Labella for their help, I think that was really awesome. And of course, Jerome. So that really concludes what I have to say, though. So I'm going to move on down Admin and Finance Committee with VP Shockey.
Yeah, we met as a committee on Tuesday and reviewed 2 club funding requests, and we pre-approved them. Essentially, we still have to clarify a couple aspects, but the 2 requests for organizations to travel to a state leadership conference at the Alliant Energy Center early next month. So we approved a total of about 35 students will be attending the conference, which is great. So that summarizes our last meeting, and that concludes my report.
Awesome, thank you very much, VP Shockey. Moving down, Legislative Affairs Committee is currently vacant. Team Development Committee, VP Linder, do you have a report for us?
I do, yeah. So the Student Success Awards banquet, just wanted to kind of give a shout out for that. Maybe mark it on your calendars. Just we don't have all of the recipients or anything in yet, but nominations are in, and just if you could make a point to try to be there either in person, it'll be at Truax campus Wednesday, April 20th 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And there also is a virtual option. So if you can tune in on that virtual option as well, and just support. I know that Student Senate was nominated as best organization. So, if you can tune in, that would be great. I wanted to talk again about the tabling event for the Sexual Assault Awareness Month coming up here in April. Goodman South's event will be Wednesday, April 13th, 11:30 to 1. So if anyone, I'm going to send an email out with the specifics. So if anyone's interested in helping out that day for that, they can let me know, and I can get back to the organizers of that event. And then Truax's event will be Friday, April 22nd. That's a change from originally what I had said. So Friday, April 22nd, 11:30 to 1. And then lastly, I'll be sending out an email just to try to get some feedback from everyone. I'd like to get together kind of a going away event or end of the year event, maybe a dinner for the current Senate members. So I'm just going to send out maybe like a Survey Monkey or something for everyone to do as far as, would you be interested in coming? Where would you like to go for dinner, or would you like to do something at campus, or no, just to get some feedback. So be looking for that maybe next week. That concludes my report.
And to add to that, I think, think about like this, it's a celebration of all the work that we've done together. And, it's the same thank you to each other, I'm fingers crossed we're gonna win that student organization of the year, because I know everyone submitted those ballots or the nomination things or whatever you wanna call it. So it would be it'd be an awesome thing to have as many of you in person. I'll be there. I think it'd be a really awesome thing. So but again, thank you for the report, VP Linder. I'm gonna move on down. Public Relations Committee, VP Labella, do you have a report for us? Oh, no report, we meet tomorrow. All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. And Senate Advisory Report with Advisor Rome. Do you have a report for us?
Yeah, so something else that will be announced at the Student Success Awards is the Student Senate Merit Award, which maybe not everyone is familiar with. One senator or two senators are recognized. It's one this year. Senate's small. Up to two senators can be recognized for basically just going above and beyond for the Student Senate. So that senator has been selected. The president is not eligible. The officers are not eligible. Anyone who joined this semester is not eligible. So make sure that you come and celebrate the Student Senate Merit Award winner, whoever that person may be. Applications obviously closed last night. I have 2 candidates for president, 2 candidates for Goodman South senator, and 18 applications for general senators. Yes, that deserves applause. So great work. The tabling paid off. The constant contact is where we got most of the clicks and the interest from. So nice work. That means that all of those positions are going to be contested because there are 14 students who can be elected into the general senator seats. That accounts for 4 of them to basically become officers. It's a little bit of a flawed system because what if a regional senator becomes an officer? But very exciting news. Hopefully some folks will actually be campaigning. I do see that we have at least one of the candidates, and we had another one in before, who are not currently on Senate, but on the ballot, so welcome. Wilfred was here earlier, and I'm hoping I pronounced this right, Saiku is also on the ballot as a senator. So I am going to invite a little bit more explicitly all of the candidates next week to start coming to the General Assembly so that they get an idea of what to expect. They have the link but I'll make it a little bit more explicit and put them in the calendar invite for the rest of the semester. Final thing, April 28th, the executive council made the decision that there will not be a general assembly meeting that day, and that will be used for a new senator meeting. So I'm trying to think if this applies to anybody, but basically if you're not, I guess we don't know the results of the elections. So everyone who is elected to a position will be invited to that, plus the officers will help to run it. So if you don't think that applies to you in one of those categories, then you have the night off. We are hoping to primarily have that in person in this room, C2402, with by request sort of stream hybrid. We really want people to be in the same room and get to know each other, get people food. So that is the idea, from 4:30 to 6 p.m. and I'll send out an email about that too. It was kind of just decided, maybe even over spring break, I don't remember. I see Katrina has her hand up.
Senator Willis?
I'm sorry, Advisor Ron, were you referring to the meeting to be held on May 4th?
No, April 28th.
Oh,
for
okay.
Senator meeting. May, I thought it was the 5th. Yeah, May 5th is the swearing in ceremony. So, and I guess I didn't even announce, we have a different location for that because we'll hopefully have more people in person. The swearing in ceremony on May 5th will be happening in the Intercultural Exchange, which you probably saw the calendar invite, but maybe didn't. I haven't explicitly said that out loud to everybody.
And I'm sorry for bringing it up. The only reason I mention that is because I'm not going to be in town because we have our National Leadership Conference for BPA, and I'll actually be in Dallas the week of the 4th through the 8th.
Okay.
So that was why I was trying to figure out if part of it, if it was going to be virtual and in person or just in person, because otherwise I won't physically be able to be there.
Swearing in will be hybrid.
Perfect.
We're
So
trying to
I'll
just
show up.
get that new senator meeting to be as much in person as we can on the 28th.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
I didn't think about the, I would assume that the, just like how Thomas was here today, most of the cabinet, if not all the cabinet members, probably most of them probably in person. It's,
Hopefully.
it's meant
been
to
invited.
be, it's meant to be a kind of, it is again, that's part of the celebration, of when you don't get, I don't want to say out with the old and with the new, but you get what I'm saying, everybody, so.
It's an important moment.
Yeah, so,
There will be food.
but again, that's why there's the virtual option there, so that, no one can be left out of anything if they wanna do it, so it's a good question, good thing to let us know, Sarah Willis, and, yeah, I think, the link, there is a link in there, or something in the Outlook, right? But I'm sorry, Advisor Rowan, I'll let you continue.
That concludes my report.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Then, moving on down, reports from I'm looking at that correct. Reports from Special and Select Committee, Student Activities Board, VP Shockey.
We did not meet during spring break last week, so I don't have a report, but we will meet tomorrow afternoon.
All right, thank you very much. The Racial Equity Committee is currently vacant. The Textbook Affordability Committee, President Green and VP Shockey.
I have no report.
I went through it. Advisor Rome, what is the thing called again? It's the document that we all were looking at about, do we want to add anything to the document, before we make it official and give the thumbs up. I don't know if it was the policy itself of I think it was like the structure itself, that the document that kind of defines the criteria for.
Is it the textbook adoption policy?
There we go.
I missed the meeting, but.
Yeah, that was a text, yep, there we go, I can't remember the, textbook, yeah, so it got thumbed, so, and it's on, I don't even know if she mentioned where it's happening next with it, but I think it's getting talked about to the next step up in the higher ups at that point. But yeah, that was really how that meeting went. And that I'm gonna say that's gonna conclude our report. And moving on down to Public Safety Advisory Committee, Senator Willis, do you have a report for us?
No, we're gonna be still trying to recruit students and even staff for next year, because this semester, we were not able to meet.
Yeah, all right, yeah, then, thank you very much, Senator Willis. Moving on down, reports from regional and metro campuses. Reedsburg is currently vacant, Watertown is currently vacant, Portage is currently vacant, Fort Atkinson is currently vacant. Goodman South, Senator Zhang, do you have a report for us?
No report.
Okay, thank you very much. And reports from College Assembly and Shared Governance Councils. As College Assembly, I've been subbing in on that one, just to put my name down temporarily for the rest of that. There was no College Assembly, we didn't have one, so that's that. Cool. See how fast that went? Academic Council, Senator Zhang, do you have a report for us?
No report.
And then Diversity and Community Relations Council is currently vacant. Facilities Planning and Investment Council, Sarah Willis, do you have a report for us?
No report. We'll meet next week.
All right, thank you very much. Finance Council is currently vacant. Information Technology Council, Sarah Zebel, do you have a report for us?
Yeah, I kind of got a little one here. So the Academic Council came in and talked to us about no credit option with limitations to remove credit and no credit option completely. Then the second final review of information, the protection standards document, we are going through formatting and thumbing it. Then it'll also be handed off and looped out for the first read for College Assembly after going through the pages and pages of words and changing things. It's finally going out there. So woo on that. Other than that, I think that's about it.
All right, and I'm just gonna add to that because I know I wrote that up for you, right? And so that's what you're reading right now. It was meant to say our Academic Council came to do a loop out with Information Technology Council, and the options that were on the table saying, hey, we're looking for feedback, is keeping only the no credit option. Credit wouldn't be an option, and it would no longer be an option, as it can have so many conflicting things with other institutions if you were to transfer potentially. And only keeping no credit, so that still allows the flexibility to the student to be able to, make that call, but it would have some defining criteria as to making sure that is in the best interest of the student, and then not getting hit with something really hard, or removing it altogether. Just it's done, and we're going back to how it was. So that would, other than that, what Sarah Zebel said is exactly correct for the rest of it. So thank you very much, buddy. I'm gonna move on down with it looks like I'm feeling my glasses. Yep, yeah, thank you for the course remark there. Institutional Effectiveness Council, VP Shockey, your report.
No report.
All right. Professional Development Council, VP Linder, do you have a report for us, or are you not able to, have you not yet?
Just a quick one. I had my first meeting on Monday with professional development, and they've been working on finalizing a survey to send out to employees, kind of trying to gauge feelings about opportunities for professional development, what employees feel works and what doesn't. So I'm kind of just getting into it as they're like finishing it up. So, but it sounds like it's a survey that's been much needed, just to kind of get employees the opportunities and the allotted time to complete professional development courses. That ends my report.
All right, thank you very much, VP Lindard, and hooray for your first meeting. I hope it went good. And then student affairs council with VP LaBella, do you report for us? No report. Thank you very much. And I just want to tell all of our guests tonight, it's not usually going to be like this. No report, no reports. We're striking out. So.
Spring break.
Yep, exactly. So moving on down though, to unfinished business, we do not have any unfinished business, and new business, nope, don't have that. Non-business housekeeping, it says, no, we do not have that either. So that's gonna take us down to announcements. If that's a hand up for adjourning, I'm not gonna call on it yet, so I'm gonna get through these announcements here quick. So I'm just gonna bring up first that can we all try to please get that form submitted to Wendy and Jody, deadline by Wednesday. Advisor Rome and I will can assist in any way possible with making sure that no reminders are sent out. But we really need this to give that feedback, and from what it looks like, it's nothing other than a couple of questions to answer. Then moving on down, please make sure all your office hours are being completed. You know the drill, Sunday at 11:59. Please send all of your reports from today to our communications coordinator, Sarah Zebel, so he can add it to the minutes for next week and for the future weeks. And then check your Outlook, check your Teams, check any other thing that you use, like your phones or whatever, to communicate with each other. Be looking for notifications or communication from either Advisor Rome, myself, the E-team, your committees, your councils. So that's all I've got to say. I really hope everyone had a great time back into the groove of things. And so that said, Senator Willis, your hand is up.
I move to adjourn.
There we go. And I see who's that? Sarah Zebel, is that a second?
Yes, sir.
All right. So voting members, can you please use the hand raising feature now for all those in favor? And that's a majority right there. So I'm happy to see Senator Janae, your hands up too, buddy. Woo! So we are adjourned at 5:51 p.m. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend, and see you later. All right. Bye, everybody.